Okay guys, today's video is going to be about how to adjust your Atari AR202 power supply so that you are sending correct voltages to your PCB board. Okay, voltages are extremely important, especially in these old Atari games. If your voltages are too high, you're going to fry some of the chips on your board and have to send them out for repair. If your voltages are too low, you're going to start to notice some irregularities in your gameplay. Sometimes sprites will appear or not appear. Sometimes objects will move too fast or too slow across the screen, and you'll start to notice some funky behavior if the voltages are too low. So we want to have those dialed in right to 5.0 volts DC. Okay. For today's demonstration, we're going to use my personal centipede cabinet. Pretty straightforward. We have our Atari AR202 board, we have my centipede PCB, and we have my power supply brick down the bottom, which mine is the same as any other one that's in a centipede cabinet that's not running a switching power supply. I've just spray painted mine with green engine enamel and 3D printed a fuse cover on it. Other than that, it's totally stock. Okay, so when making these adjustments, we are going to need a multimeter, preferably a digital one. The analog ones just are not as detailed. And we are going to start this with our board unplugged. Okay, I'm going to unplug the board. It is totally fine to turn on your cabinet with the game board unplugged. While we're making adjustments to the AR, we don't want to unnecessarily send incorrect voltages to the board and risk damage. So we want to make all of our adjustments with it unplugged. Okay, I have my multimeter. I'm going to turn it on to DC volts and turn the light on so you can see it a little bit better. And I have my two multimeter leads already set on the test lugs on the AR. The red positive is on the plus sense line, which is what tests for 5 volts. The black lead is on the ground or negative. Okay, with it all ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my game. Okay, so the power is on, the board's unplugged, and I'm checking the power at the AR, which right now is a little bit high at 5.175. That's exactly where you want it. We want the voltage to be higher than 5 right now. I know it just said, hey, we want to make sure it's at 5 volts. That's correct, but right now there is no load. The game board is unplugged, and the power that's coming off of the AR is high at 5.175. Eventually, when we plug the game in, the power that's coming from the AR and going through all those wires and the resistance to the board is going to drop it back down to 5 where we want it. So if you can get yours dialed into 5.1 to 5.2 somewhere, perfect. That's where you want it. How do you make the adjustments if it's way too high or too low? Well, come down here, kind of hard to see. This little pot adjustment on the bottom of your AR is what will adjust your voltage. So you can turn it left and right and kind of get it set from 5.1 to 5.2, and once you're there, you're ready to go, and we can turn the game off. Okay, so my next move, we know that the voltage on that AR is where it needs to be. Now we want to make sure that the correct voltage is going to the board and that it's dropping down where it needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my board in. Kind of tough to do one-handed. Top and the bottom harness. Okay, those are both plugged in. I'm now going to take my multimeter leads and put them on the board. We know that the voltages coming off of the AR are where they need to be. Now we want to make sure that that 5.175 is going through the lines, and because of resistance is dropping down to 5 where we want it to be. So again, I'm going to use the test lugs on the board. I'm going to plug my black onto ground, and I'm going to take my red and put it onto the 5 volt line. And I'm going to try to balance them there again because I'm doing this one-handed. Okay. I'm going to make sure that my multimeter is ready to go. and I'm going to turn on the game. Okay, so I've turned it on. My light is on the board. We're ready to go. And I check down here, and my multimeter is saying that the voltage on the board is 4.994, 4.995. Perfect. That's exactly where we want it. Personally, for my own games, I like to keep them slightly under 5. 4.99, even sometimes 4.985. I want to keep them slightly lower because that stresses the chips a little bit more and prevents them from burning up. Okay, so there we have it. The game's dialed in, it's playing. We're not burning up anything. As a recommendation, I would say anytime that you have the back door off your game, anytime you have it pulled out or doing any work in the back, you pull out your multimeter and check your voltages. It's kind of the thing that you have to do with the back door off. You can't really do it through the coin door. And it's just a good habit that, every, so many months you go in through the back door, you test your voltages. So there you have it. If you have any questions, send me a message. I'd be happy to answer them. And enjoy your game.